Austin, you want to start us off?
Yeah. Hey, that's my line. No edits, no filter. August 7th, take one.
Now,
All right, Big John, what are we talking about here? No edits, no filter.
we talk about autism, sports, movies, and Asperger's and phone balls.
Okay. All right, that about covers it. So welcome back to No Edits, No Filter. Good Friday here on the Avenue. Today's topic, I thought we would talk about kind of professionalism in the workplace and sometimes, compromising and how respect plays into that, and sometimes, meeting someone halfway to accomplish a greater goal. So, I'll start off with something a couple of days ago. We were running an internet wire to a new box over here to get a better internet connection. And Dieter had asked me to bring the wire up kind of through the attic area. And my first thought was, no, I'm too tall for that. There's no way I'm doing that. But Dieter was like, yeah, I think it'll work out. I think there's something we can get done here. So I gave it a shot. And I actually ended up being able to do it. It helped out, got the job done really quickly. And I think it was just kind of, trusting my coworkers, trusting the people I'm around, and it made it, really get done smoothly. So does anybody want to talk about kind of meeting someone halfway or compromise or anything like that? Alex?
Sure. So it applies a little bit to a exercise we were doing in class today, but also I remember it vividly from pre-COVID on the Avenue when we would write our stories and we'd be sitting in a group, it's a think tank, right? And so it's 6, 7, 8 people coming up with ideas for one story, right? So not everything's going to make it in, right? But respecting people's ideas, and not automatically saying, oh, that idea is bad, we're not going to use that. And harvesting multiple ideas from a group and being able to make something that is a mix of everyone's idea, I think is a really great example of just compromise in the workplace. So it's not going to be exactly what you said, it's not going to be exactly what you said, it's going to be something that we all make together.
Matt, you got anything about?
I knew you were going to put me on the spot.
You're right in the middle. My eyes went right to you.
Well, I think it's important to, if you can't meet on one idea, meet in the middle, like Alex said. I think that's really important. But I also think it's important to look at other people's ideas as well as your own and see how you can combine it all together, like Alex said. I mean, I have really nothing to add other than the fact that, yeah, it's important. Don't shoot down anyone's idea. But if you're going to shoot someone's idea, explain why it wouldn't work. Explain. Go into detail of, well, your idea is great, but this is why it will not work in this scenario. Because A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Great suggestion, though. But we'll use it another time. That's how you not shut down someone.
I think that's important too. Is if there's something that maybe you don't agree with, is being able to express it in a way that's respectful to everyone. Being able to say, "Hey, I see your point. I get where you're coming from, but here's how I feel about this. I think this is the way that we should go with it." And that's how you can get things done that way when everybody's being respectful. Brad, how do you feel about just teamwork? What's the importance of communicating and working together?
Let's see. Oh man, a couple ways to describe it actually, but I think for working together, I would say agreeing with each other and going smooth with each other. I don't know, I just have random ways to describe it.
Okay, that's good though.
Like today, I can give you one example.
Let's hear it.
The one thing that was confusing me today, after Dieter was pulling my buttons, is that I tried to put all these tripods, and then he goes around. He was joking, obviously, but
Like he always does.
I know. But it's so confusing because it's like I do something, and then it's like turn around, and I'm not sure if that's good enough, and then something I've learned about working around with Dieter is he's an interesting man to work around. He keeps you on your toes, and you learn something about him every day.
But you also learn about yourself too.
Yeah.
It's almost,
Yeah, exactly.
it's almost like if you don't want to do something like Dieter, they're kind of strong willed. If they're gonna make you do something, they're gonna do it. Because I was in this class today. I'll be in this class next week. When y'all tell me I have to come over here, I have to come over here. I have to go over there, I have to go over there.
Yeah, sometimes that's important. It's important, John, that you learn something new or try something new.
Yeah.
It can help you kind of expand beyond your comfort zone, which is important in learning. So that's good. You tested yourself today and pushed yourself outside your boundaries, and you learned from it.
Yeah.
So that's important. Leo, what do you think about teamwork and working together, communication? What does that stuff mean to you?
Well, it's a very important thing for many jobs, whether it's operating a crane or doing anything in public safety. Nonetheless, if the other person's idea is a picture with an Auburn athlete,
Here we go.
then I'll immediately have to shoot it down.
Okay. All right, Leo. So I got a question for you. If I were to bring you, a picture, or I drew something of an Auburn athlete, how could you say to me respectfully, like, hey, like, I don't know if that's the best idea, but you have to, but in a respectful manner where, I put a lot of effort into that Auburn picture. So how could you tell me respectfully that it's not the right one?
Obviously,
Hey,
you
Leo.
wouldn't.
Leo, War Eagle.
So could we say it in a respectful way, you think? No, that's a great picture, but I don't know if that's right for this, or, I appreciate the time you took.
I would say it was a well done one, but Auburn still sucks.
Okay, all right, I guess that's kind of a,
What about Alabama?
They also suck.
all right.
Didn't-
So Alabama, LSU, UW, Auburn.
For future reference, guys, do not engage Leo about mascots.
Why not?
Leo is the
It's just
mascot king.
gonna lead him down a rabbit hole.
Well, that's
No,
just,
it's not.
are you putting them down?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's gonna lead him down a rabbit hole of I hate this team because of their mascot. I hate this team because of their
And
mascot.
what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You don't like it, do you?
That's his opinion and it's valid,
Well,
Just think of all the teams I love for their mascots, like South Florida.
True.
That's
The
true.
Gators?
No,
No,
the
South
Bulls.
Florida.
Leo,
No.
The Bulls.
Oh.
Leo's also very passionate about mascots, so he cares a lot. He brings a lot to the table, a lot of energy there. But in the same way that we want him to be respectful about some of the schools he doesn't like. If he has a passion that maybe you don't share, it's okay to not share the same passion, but being respectful and being like, hey, like, I like how much, I appreciate how much you care about mascots, but that's not really my thing. I'm not really a mascot guy. But saying it in a way that is respectful of everyone.
Howard, you must be a mascot guy because you've been an athlete.
That's true, yeah. I do. Mascots are pretty cool.
They go hand in hand with sports.
Yeah. They do, Riley. All
maybe
right.
I need to have Leo on and rank mascots.
I think that's a great
That would be
idea.
awesome. That's collaboration. That's what we like to see.
John, put the bottle up.
This is full.
Okay, but don't crunch it.
All right.
I think another thing that's good is know your audience. You know, if you're sitting in a room full of people who like Coca-Cola, you don't necessarily go talking about Pepsi the whole time because they may not want to hear it, you know. But if you have a point about Pepsi and you're trying to convince the Coca-Cola guys, then make your point, but don't keep pounding on it because they're probably not going to want to listen.
Are you saying Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola brand?
Just know your audience. When you're talking to people,
Yeah.
you know, it's you got to know kind of who you're talking to, and you know, and always respect them and listen to what they have to say, but in the same turn, get in, get out with your ideas.
Bobby, any thoughts on the importance of teamwork, respect, compromise? Anything there?
Nah.
Not really. Well, you like coding, right? So eventually you're gonna, be teamed up with somebody who you're the coder, and then you'll have either strategy or the people who build the visual aspect or that tell you where your code should go. The importance of working with those people in a way that is a healthy relationship, because you don't want to work with someone that you just don't get along with and you guys are constantly ignoring each other. That's not a healthy work relationship. So is there any of those things make you think a little bit more maybe about the importance of teamwork?
Nope.
No? All right.
It's just not important.
I don't know, it's important. I just don't have as much opportunity to have it or to do it.
Okay.
What about in a classroom setting?
Yeah, we've not really had many opportunities there either, really.
We had one this morning,
We
didn't
had
we?
a team game, but then otherwise,
We had one this morning, didn't we? Where we were all collaborating on a project?
yes.
No thoughts there either?
I had that team.
There's one thing we can't get too close to each other.
Yeah, we're keeping our CDC distances,
Yeah.
wearing the masks.
Yeah. And no, Bobby, I don't mean to put you on the spot there, because I think we all make those mistakes where we don't handle things the way that is the best all the time. By no means, none of us are perfect. I think it's just important to identify, like, I want to make your work setting and who you're hanging out with and the people you're around, you want it to be as fun as possible. So in doing that, and you want it to go as smoothly as possible. In doing that, you want to make sure that you're never turning a blind eye or just ignoring someone, because it usually comes back in the end. It doesn't work out very well.
And I always find too, if I'm with somebody and I'm have to listen to them and I'm not crazy about what they're talking about, is that because of them or is that because of me? Probably because of me, because I don't know the topic. So one way to alleviate it is start asking questions to get their perspective, where they're coming from, and then you can understand the person better and maybe adjust your attitudes towards listening because you have a better understanding of what they're talking about, right?
It's never too late to be educated. You could be 8 or 9 years old and trying to get an education and all that.
That's exactly right, John. I mean, I think, making sure you're always learning and looking at new perspectives is really important. You never want to be closed-minded or turn a blind eye to people. There's always an opportunity to learn.
Well, to an Auburn athlete, I would turn a blind eye.
Do you think so? There's no chance?
To a UTK athlete, I would likely turn a blind eye.
So here's I think what we're looking for here, though, is it's okay to disagree with them, but can we be respectful about it and make sure that you're not hurting anyone's feelings? Maybe it's just, hey, I'm not a huge fan of UTK. It's a cool place, but I'm not a huge fan.
I'm no fan of them at all.
Okay. All right. Dawson, any thoughts? Teamwork, communication.
No, I have any thoughts.
Sid's way or the highway.
Yeah.
Is your way to the highway? We do it the way
No.
It's John's way or the highway?
Yeah, John's way.
John Woodard.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know what
Someone
John's
on
way
here
is?
probably begs to differ.
So
I would agree with that. Makes a differ.
How do you
with
know
what?
what John's way is, though?
I don't. It's just how he wants it done.
Now here's how it
So
usually
there's no,
happens.
you don't think communication would be important in teamwork?
It is.
Well, I used to work there a little bit. And honestly, what's funny is since Nate's here, John and Woodard would talk to Nate, and they would just crack jokes all the time. And meanwhile, we're the ones packing pillboxes, and then, John would do this, John would do that, but mostly all day, they would crack jokes and break lunch. Yeah.
You know,
That's basically, am I correct,
Hey,
Nate? Am I hitting the nail on the head?
I think Nate would say he did just as much work.
I mean, we definitely multitask.
Yeah, but you crack jokes.
you know, Tom and John are not anything alike. John's like the quiet person.
Yeah, personalities can differ even when you're siblings.
Yeah.
Like my brother and I have completely different personalities.
So is me and Marvel.
Matt, I think going back to what you were saying, work doesn't have to be this, miserable, mundane place to go. It doesn't have to be like that. Nate and John are having fun and they're doing work at the same time. That's a bonus. I mean, that's really what you hope for is having, and that's really what we're talking about is
I come here for the food.
there's nothing wrong with that.
That's what they got me in the buildings with too. And then they hid the cookies. It was terrible.
I don't think
Fried
it's
the
the
cookies.
cookies. It says you ate them all already, man. Knowing John Woodard, that wouldn't surprise me.
He actually has brought a few cookies every once in a while.
It's about time for Brad to bring some cookies in.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
sir.
some honey.
And some honey.
Wee doggies.
Too bad.
I wasn't aware that honey and cookies went together.
That's right.
That's what's up.
In Brad's world, they do.
Sometimes brothers, like to be like 2 or 3 brothers, this one's be nice, the other one get mean, the other one can get agitated, the other one can it's almost had anything to do with it.
Yeah, so what do you do when you get agitated? What's the best way to deal with it?
It's gonna be, I just walk the other way.
Walk the other way? That's a good one.
What do you think, Bobby? I find my Zen spot. Or I work on becoming Zen with stuff I enjoy.
What is Zen? I'm actually asking.
Calm, happy.
So how do you try to find that place? Is there?
For me, I tend to read or listen to music.
Okay. So reading and listening to music is a way to release stress and find that Zen happy place.
Yes.
So what happens if you're in an agitated state and can't get to a safe place? What do you do?
Blow it up.
Blow it up?
D&D works.
There you go.
It makes every space safe.
Yes.
Wait,
But only after it goes off. Before it goes off, it's actually pretty
dangerous.
dangerous.
Isn't actually blowing yourself up not the thing
Yeah,
you're
no,
supposed to do?
seriously.
Oh, I didn't say blowing myself up. I'm saying blowing up whatever's bothering you around you. Just hide
How
behind
does
the
that
glass.
work exactly, Bobby? Do you start yelling at people?
No.
Okay, then how does that work?
If you're around 6 D&D.
Seriously, what do you do if,
Yeah, what do you
if you
do?
can't read or listen to music and there's something agitating you? What's your strategy?
I do.
Okay.
Is being agitated a product of my fault or is it a product of the person that's agitating me?
Rarely is
Depends on what it is. It could be either way.
It could be either way.
I think it's both.
If it's my fault, I'll go away for a short bit, come back after I'm relaxed. If it's
Does
your
the other
fault,
person know they're agitating you?
I will make it very clear.
Okay.
You are annoying, goodbye.
Okay. So then that's actually on you, not them, right?
Depends on if they're being annoying or if I'm just getting annoyed by them.
Okay.
Different ways.
I think being agitated is on us. I think
Hey,
it's
it's also a
Depends on
bonus.
people.
It's also a bonus when you're here learning all that.
yeah, when you're learning a lot and somebody interrupts, that kind of throws the zen off, so you get agitated, right? So sometimes it's hard to find a happy place when you're learning when everybody's being busy around you.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Nate?
I was just going to say, I think it's actually usually both. Good example is I tend to like to bounce my feet and make noise that way, though the noise is not actually the goal of me, but it's a byproduct. Drives my sister nuts. I know it drives my sister nuts. I usually try not to do it around her, but it's a habit, I forget. So, I'm doing something that I know agitates her, but it's not everyone around me gets agitated and do it, so it's definitely her fault and my fault. It's like,
Okay.
I used to have a friend that cracked jokes constantly, and most of the time they were at my expense.
Right.
It all just came to a head one day, and I'm like, dude, I cannot take any more of this. Cutting you out of my life. Have a good one.
Did you give him the opportunity to change first, though? 'Cause he didn't know he was agitating you,
I don't
right?
believe this person can change.
Yeah.
But my point is, if somebody's agitating you and you say, hey, I'm done with it because you're agitating me, have you given them the opportunity to change?
There's no, hey, what he's talking about?
I know what he's talking about. I'm talking generalizations.
I gave him the opportunity to change.
Okay.
Okay.
Forget it's a certain person. Just, Joe Schmo off the street has been annoying you for 3 weeks since he's been coming into on the avenue to look around. And one day you say, anywhere you are, I'm not going to be because you're annoying me. You haven't given him the chance to change, right?
Right.
So that's an area where communication is important, right? This behavior that you're doing is agitating me. Something needs to change. Let's work together to come up with a plan.
I love what you're saying. I would agree in this instance. I would definitely agree with you. But this person that Riley is talking about couldn't change and would not change.
And probably will never.
Well, it's not
Then-
that. I'm not.
Okay, you weren't in our scenario. You weren't in our scenario, so how can you make
It's
a statement
okay,
like
Matt.
you understand?
Matt, it's okay.
Come back to me when you understand.
It's a generic topic we're talking about. We're not talking about a specific
what I'm
person.
saying without letting me completely say what I was.
Okay, I'm
He
back.
had stated that he had a friend, this friend joked constantly, he didn't like it, and he just outright left.
Yeah.
Nowhere in this sentence here did he say he told his friend that it was bothering him because he stopped.
We saw.
Okay.
So
Well,
he did not give him a chance, we're saying.
no.
Like, that's what it sounded like to saying. Like,
Well,
he just outright left right then.
Well, I think that's why.
Like, he gave up on him,
Well, I know it's the same friend that I gave up.
So here's a thought. So you know who you're dealing with. If somebody likes eating rabbits all the time and you don't like eating rabbits, but you can learn to be around the person even though they have a difference in, there's things to consider sometimes. It's like, it's just a joke. If you feel like you're the brunt of the joke,
Yeah,
You know?
there's a difference. Theater.
there's not. My point
How
is,
can you say that?
because I've been in all these scenarios.
How can you say that?
I've been in all these
You
scenarios.
haven't been in my shoes.
I've been in your shoes. We've all been in each other's shoes. It's a human condition.
Matt, I don't think anybody's questioning like whether you experienced it or not. I think all we're saying is that it's important to communicate and give people a chance. That's what
you're
we're
saying,
saying.
I totally agree. But the point I guess you don't understand with me is like, yeah, I agree with your point. I agree that people will joke and be annoying. And that's just the human condition. I get what you're saying.
Right.
But me and Riley with this guy, the point I'm trying to make here is like, he would not change. He would keep doing the same actions. And Riley, you said you gave him a chance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave him several chances.
I didn't have a, he had no chances with me.
Right.
Unlike Riley, he gave him a chance.
So the
My
back.
point is, people sometimes will not change.
Right.
I think what their point is, sometimes you just have to, sometimes that's okay.
And at some point,
And I'm not saying not dealing with it is the wrong.
Right,
choice.
there's
I'm
no
just
wrong
saying
answer here.
Sometimes though you decide to deal with people in spite of the things that they're
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
I would say everyone,
you deal with in spite of their annoyances, because no one is not annoying at least sometimes.
And at some point it becomes on us then, because if I hang out with Tyler knowing that he's gonna, you know, burp all the time, and I hate burpers, but at some point if it keeps bugging me, well, it's not his fault, because that's what he does. He's a burper. So it's on me if I'm getting agitated with his burping.
Well, it's natural for him.
But I'm just saying, at some point it becomes, it's my problem. It's not his problem, because that's who he is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I can't get mad at him just because I don't like burping.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in those scenarios, then you can walk away. Or if you're in that scenario, don't get mad at the person, because that's who they are. He likes to burp, so I just have to learn to live with it.
Well, that's for your case, but I had to live with this too. I have to live with
I'm
you,
not-
and so
But I'm just saying, at
I
some
get
point,
what you're saying.
at some point, you know who you're dealing with. That's my point. At some point, you know, and you know he's not going to change. He's always going to keep burping.
Yeah.
So then I need to learn how to deal
But
with
there are
that.
some things you can't live with. There are
And
some.
that's fine. And then you moved out. You moved your scenario, and that was an answer.
Yeah, that was the answer.
But I'm saying at some point, what I'm trying to say is at some point, you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah,
so then you can deal with it yourself each day. I'm going to have to work with
Like
Tyler.
for example.
I have to work with Tyler today. I know he's going to burp, so I need to figure it out for myself. Not for him, but for me.
I mean, I know you love to play jokes with me. I expect that from you, and I enjoy that because your jokes, you know, you always say you're kidding, and you always make it fun. You know, you're just that funny. And like. That's what I expect from you, because you're funny, you're fun to be around with, you know, and I have gotten used to your jokes because I understand them, and you don't mean them in malice. When I mean malice, you mean them in great fun, good old, harmless fun.
Right.
And that's what I love about you, dear. But there's a difference between harmless fun jokes and, oh, I'm going to joke about your, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. We get it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Touche.
Good job, guys, today, discussing and talking. It's hard topics sometimes.
It's almost like somebody makes a real man you want to hear. I made mistakes and hit people. Well, I just made me feel that.
Yeah, I find the best thing is to walk away if you get agitated. Come back, talk to the person when the moment's calmed down, you know? And like I always say, if it doesn't matter in 2 weeks, it don't matter. So, you know, if he's burping today and he's not burping tomorrow, then that was a yesterday thing. But if he burps every day for the next 2 weeks, then it's something. So I need to go talk to him about his burping. If he says, hey, I'm sorry, it's just what I do, then I need to figure it out for myself, not for him. So at that point, it does matter in 2 weeks, I need to address it. So I think that's kind of, you know, and you do it respectfully, and it may not be the answer you want. People don't, you know, necessarily change because you want them to change.
No, I'm not saying.
You know, no, I'm not saying you're saying anything. I'm just saying I'm throwing out ideas here.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. I think it was a deep conversation.
Can I sign off?
Who wants Matt? Sign us off.
Big ass taco.
Woo!
Yeah, buddy.
Good week, guys.
But